Now go to inside reading 3, page number 17, unit 2, urban planning, and let me shift to the book 4. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's okay. So in this unit, you will read about the development of modern cities and regional megacities and what the future holds for urban life around the globe. And you also practice identifying and outlining the main idea in a reading selection. And finally, you'll increase your understanding of the target academic words for this unit. For example, communicate, تواصل, define, يعرف, despite, بالرغم من, migrate for example also, يهاجر, network, شبكة اتصال, perspective, وجهة نظر, relay, يعتمد, remove, يزيل, source, المصدر, status, الحالة, and survive, ينجو. So don't forget to fill up this self-assessment box by looking for these words. Okay, be careful about these two words, which Megalopolis, an urban region, especially one consisting of several large cities and suburbs that are all connected to each other. It's originally from a Greek mega, which means large, and polis, meaning city. Ecopolis, a city considers in relationship to its environment, for its origin from the Greek word eco, meaning house, or more broadly surrounding, and polis meaning city. So in next class, inshallah, we will try to discuss this question in small groups and answer it. So prepare it from now, so still you have time. What is the biggest city you have ever visited? What do you like about it? Was there anything you didn't like? Why? Why not? How big is your city in a geographical size and in population? What would you say your city is small? Would you say, your city is small, medium or medium sized, large, or extremely large, and why? The final question, think about the cities near where you live. How near are the other major cities? Are there any smaller suburban communities surrounding your cities? What reason or factors can you think of to explain the patterns of urban development in your area? So this article is from Newsweek magazine, is about the rise of megacities. The new Megalopolis. So I'll read the text, but next class you have to solve the post-reading questions. Okay? So let me read the text loudly for you, so you can grasp the main idea and write the supporting details. Our focus on cities is wrong. The growth and innovation come from new urban corridors. China isn't the world's most ferocious new economic competitor. The exploding East Coast corridor from Beijing to Shanghai is. India as a whole is not developing high-tech industrial and attracting jobs, but the booming mega region stretching from Bangalore to Hyderabad is. Across the world, in fact, nations don't spur growth so much as dynamic regions. Okay? Modern version of the original megalopolis, a term coined by the geographer Jane Gottman to identify the sprawling Boston, New York, Washington economic power corridor. The new megas are the real economic organizing units of the world and the major source of the global wealth. A tracking a large share of its talent and generating the most innovations. They take shape as powerful complexes of multiple cities and suburbs, often stretching across national borders, forming a vast expanse of trade, transport, communication, and talent. Yet, despite the fact that the rise of regions has been apparent for more than a decade, no one has collected systematic information on them. Not the World Bank, not the IMF, not the United Nations, not the global consulting firms. That's why a team of geographers set about building a world map of a new megas shaped by satellite images of the world at night, using light emissions to define the outline of each region and additional data in categories such as the population and economic growth to chart their relative peak strength and dynamism. The result is the topographical map you see here. Okay, the map makes it clear that the global economic takes shapes around perhaps 20 great megas, half in the United States and the rest scattered throughout the world. These regions are home to just 10% of the total world population, 660 million people, but produce half of all economic activity. Two-thirds of the world-class scientific activity and three-quarters of global innovations. The great urbanologist Jean Jacob was the first to describe why megalopolises grow. When people migrate to one place, they all become more productive, and the place itself becomes much more productive because collective creativity grows exponentially. Okay? Ideas flow more freely, are honed more sharply, and can be put into practice more quickly. There is, however, a tipping point. The forces of price and cognitions begin pushing people away from the center. But make no mistake, this has nothing to do with the decentralization of work, as many have argued. The huge economic advantage of clustering still guide the process, which is why second cities emerge near big cities or in the corridors between them, not in the middle of nowhere. The first region to achieve mega status and still the biggest mega in economic terms is the Boston to Washington corridor. In 1961, it was home to about 32 million people. Today, its population has risen to 55 million, more than 17% of all America. The region generates 242.5 trillion in dollars in economic activities, making it the world's fourth largest economy, bigger than France or the United Kingdom. Next in line is Chi-Betis, the great Midwestern mega running from Chicago to Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh with $242.3 trillion in economic activities. Three of the power centers of the United States economy even stretch beyond American borders. SoCal run from Los Angeles to San Diego across Mexican border to Taiwan. Torpath, Chester, sprawls from Toronto to Rochester, and Cascadia from Portland, Oregon to Vancouver. Aside from the island-bound financial center of Greater London, Europe's major economic engines do not rely on old borders to define themselves. The Euro lowlands cuts across four nations: the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, and France. The Euro sampled stretch from Barcelona to Marseille, attracting people and firms with a competitive cost and the Mediterranean lifestyle. Japan is less a country than a network of linked mega regions anchored by Greater Tokyo. Indeed, a close look at night emission map shows that its three major megas may well be blurring into one super mega of more than 100 million people. While mega regions power advanced economies, they literally define the emerging nation. If you removed its megas, China would be virtually meaningless as an economic category. What matters are Shanghai to Nanjing, with more than 50 million people, Hong Kong to Xinjiang, 40 million, Greater Beijing, 36 million. These three megas account for most of China's economic output, attract most of its talent, and generate the great majority of its innovations. Instead of technology helping to spread economic opportunity and lift many more boats, economic power is concentrating in a small number of key regions. It's time for political and economic leadership to wake up to this new reality. It makes a little sense to dwell on countries anymore, when the real engines of survival, innovation, and growth area the new megas. Now, do solve these questions or the post reading questions as homework and try to submit it before face-to-face lecture. Okay, so try to solve this one. Also move to put check next to these to those that are the main ideas by reading this one, and try to write the main purpose of each paragraph, the previous text, and summarize it using your own words. Okay, then move to solve the vocabulary part or activities. Okay, and we inshallah discuss it or check it in next class. So till then, thank you very much and see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.